Hello and welcome. You are watching IndianExpress.com. So, a fresh tension erupted in Ladakh after Indian Army on Monday released a statement saying they thwarted Chinese intention to change the status quo of south bank of Pangong Tso. Now, in the statement, the army said that on the intervening night of August 29 and 30, Chinese troops actually tried to carry out military movements on the south bank of Pangong Tso. Now, as you know that the standoff between Indian Army and the PLA started in May. What this current face-off between PLA and Army means, and will this lead to further escalation of the situation, and what has been Chinese stand on the matter? Well, all this was explained by our correspondent Krishna Kaushik. Kaushik, if you can please tell us what actually happened on Saturday night at Pangong Tso South Bank.
So the exact details of the operations are not yet known. What the army had stated was that they preemptively blocked from Chinese troops from moving in and occupying new territory. So basically, the intelligence, surveillance, and recce operations of the army provided them inputs that the Chinese troops were planning to move, and they spotted some movement of a body of Chinese troops. So from Pangong base and from other bases in the area, which is in the Chushu sector at the south bank of Pangong Tso, the Indian Army's troops, they went and occupied some other heights which prevented the Chinese troops from coming in and occupying any new territory.
So did any kind of confrontation, any kind of clash happen? Was there any gun fired? Any input in that regarding?
No. As of what we know at the moment, there were no clashes. There was no engagement. There was no contact, which is why there are no reports of any injuries or deaths as of now. That's what the sources have told us. However, there are some conflicting reports that are mentioning that there might have been some clashes which may not have happened on the Saturday night. They may have happened on Sunday. There are some conflicting reports that are slightly trickling in at the moment that claim that there may have been a few clashes, which could have involved, I'm saying could have involved, the Special Frontier Force of India.
But the Chinese media especially have been broadcasting news and quotes from their Chinese commanders and all that Indian Army has actually occupied, have violated LOC, and there are also reports on other channels also that some of the areas like Rakhine, one of the area in China, that has been occupied by the Indian force. Do you have any input on that, what the army says?
Again, army is quiet on the operational details. Army has said they will not share any operational details as of now because it's not in the national security's interest to share any of those details. However, it is important to remember that along with it being a military battle or a military, let's say, conflict, not even a battle, it is also a battle of the narratives. So while both sides are trying to portray what they want, the truth might be somewhere in the middle. Of course, India has not claimed as of now that they have crossed the LAC. Even the sources within the defense establishment have said that the new areas that India has occupied are well within west of India's claim of the LAC in southern bank as well. So India at no point has claimed to cross the LAC. China's claim that India could have crossed the LAC, however, could be to impose their perception of the LAC on India, that this is where they believe the LAC lies, and position India has occupied crosses that. However, India has not gone beyond their perception of the LAC till now, and that's what the sources have told us.
Yeah, but the current status quo, does it give any kind of geographical and location-wise advantage to the Indian troop, as the Indian Express report, the front page story mentions today? What kind of advantage it is?
See, the southern bank of Pangong Tso and the Chushu area, it's called the Chushu approach. There's an area called the Spangur Gap over there. That area in 1962 was also used for an offensive by China. So to prevent any situation from that area being used this time now as well, or in future, at least right now, India has positioned itself on certain heights that can prevent any offensive from that area, because the Spangur Gap is a 2-kilometer wide valley that provides a flat surface for an offensive launch. So India has positioned itself in such a manner that any such offensive can be thwarted.
Okay. Now, Kaushik, this standoff actually started in May, and it's been almost 3 or 4 months, and there has been several commander-level talks between the two sides. What is your reading of this current, the latest friction that happened in Ladakh, and do you think is it going to escalate further? Because recently CDS Bipin Rawat also said that India is ready for military action if the talks is failing. So do you think this will escalate further, or there is some, there will be some softening stand by both the sides?
Again, it's very interesting. The clashes actually started, or the standoff actually started. It was on the intervening night of May 5 and May 6 when the first clashes took place, and those also took place on the Pangong Tso. However, they were on the north bank. So for the standoff, while the standoff has moved like hundreds of kilometers further up north from Pangong Tso up till Depsang Plains, it had traveled south, not yet. Like it is only traveled south now. So now it has reached the south bank of Pangong Tso. There have been at least five rounds of talks between the core commanders of both the countries, both the militaries, and a few rounds of talks of even the division commanders. The last round of talks that took place was of division commanders that happened in Depsang Plains. However, the talks have been inconclusive the last few rounds. No further disengagement has taken place after the talks that took place on 14th of July. After the talks on July 6, some disengagement process had, June 6. The talks had happened in June. There were 3 rounds. So some disengagement had started at end of June, which continued till mid-July. However, since mid-July, there has been no fresh disengagement, which means the talks have been inconclusive. While there was a fresh round of diplomatic talks last week, in which both countries had decided that they may go ahead with more military talks of senior commanders, which is either a division commander or a corps commander. Those talks are still awaited. There is no scheduled date for those talks yet. CDS General Bipin Rawat had of course mentioned that if all other procedures fail, India can take military action. That is an option that India always retains. India, as the army statement yesterday also has mentioned, has always said that we are willing for a peaceful resolution of the standoff. However, if no option is left with the country, of course, military option is still available with the country. Okay. That decision is not a military decision. It has to be remembered. It's a political decision that has to be taken at the top.
Okay. Thank you, Kaushik. Thank you for input, and thank you, viewer, for joining us.
Thank you, Nisha.
For more user update, keep logging on to IndianExpress.com.